Darrell Issa, Republican of California, sits on, among other things, the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, what do you make of some of your colleagues who are saying, all right, that's it, we've got to do something about these 300 million guns that are already out there, akin to maybe what Florida did after the Parkland shooting? You say what?
Neil, the Congress does two things extremely well: nothing at all and overreact. This is a situation in which a 17-year-old apparently got his father's weapons. Other than taking away his father's weapons, apparently a law-abiding, not mentally ill individual, we don't have enough facts to show some sort of a reasonable control. The president's shown leadership by saying if you modify a weapon to make it the equivalent of what has already been banned, which is fully automatic weapons, we should find a way to deal with that. So I think if we would do what the president has called on us to do, based on a well-understood criminal act and something that could have been different if these bump stocks weren't available, that's an example where we know enough facts to legislate some sort of solution. But as we sit here today, knowing that a 17-year-old was deranged in some way and got his father's weapons, is a long way from having the kind of control that my Democratic friends often call for every time something tragic happens.
What do you make of someone like Pagortzis, who had a history of making sometimes inflammatory comments on social media, nothing nearly approaching those of Nicholas Cruz in the Parkland shooting, but enough that would give caution? Do you think that should be among the things authorities look at before they give you a gun license? Well,
this gentleman, it's not about a gun license, as I understand it, but
I know there's a very different case, but that someone like that shouldn't get their hands on a weapon.
I think that we need to have a strict standard that you have to be sound of mind to in fact assert your Second Amendment rights. You have to not have a criminal or violent background to assert your Second Amendment rights.
But would that include a social media search, Congress? I only mention because some of your colleagues have said, a stricter background checks that would include that would go a little further than we do now.
Well, I think it's inevitable that social media is going to be one of the indications of a determination that somebody has some criminal intent or the like. So I see that happening, but I don't think we lead with social media. I don't think Congress mandates that we check Facebook. The fact is we have had one after another tragedy in which there were clear signs that somebody wasn't stable. And in many cases, the schools didn't act when they could have, the police didn't act when they could have, and they didn't do enough. And so I think all of us sitting in Washington say, where is it we need to make a material change? The president's shown leadership on calling for us to find a way to stop the conversion to fully automatic weapons. We haven't acted on that. That's the nothing at all. When it comes to the overreact, anything that you're talking about, a specific action today, well, in fact, families are still grieving, is the overreact or the premature react. And I think, I serve on the committee that would have to deal with this, the Judiciary Committee, and I very much think that there are some things we can do, and we should be working on those with the president's leadership, not going off on these tangents every time something terrible happens.
All right, Congressman, you were very patient with all this breaking news. I do want to revisit with you maybe next week, if you're available, sir, on this Inspector General report on the Clinton email probe. I'm looking forward to see what comes of that. But in the meantime, thank you very much, Congressman. Good seeing you.
Of course. Thank you.